Hey, welcome back to The Juggle is Real. I'm Andriana, and I'm happy to report that we are in the sort of latter half of June. We're in this final stretch, and it's a beautiful season. It's a wonderful season, but it's a very, very full season. And the month holds a lot. We've all got a lot on our plates. If you've been following along on social media, I have been sharing the past few weeks have been really full for me too, and you're probably thinking you've got the school events and sports and field trips, work. And for us, we unexpectedly have been dealing with water damage and flooding, both at our primary residence as well as a secondary rental property that we own. So it kind of feels like life has been coming at us from every single direction all at once. There's so many beautiful things happening. And then there's some things that maybe I could have done without. So there's a lot of contrast there. And it's been one of those seasons where you look at the calendar and you're just wondering, like, how is this just 1 week? And so on my end, as a result, I had to do a little bit of rescheduling with some upcoming guests. And I think that's kind of a good thing. It's one of those reminders that sometimes real life needs us to adjust our plans. And the good news is that these interviews that are coming up, they are fantastic. And I'm really excited to share them with you over the next few weeks. But in the meantime, I went looking back into the beautiful archives of The Juggle is Real, looking for an episode that felt relevant for this moment. And I landed on episode 103, which is called June Intentions, Strategies to Tackle June with More Ease. The funny thing about it is that I actually didn't even remember. I didn't even remember this episode, didn't remember recording it or preparing for it. But as I listened back, I was like, holy, I need this episode right now. And I listened to it actually while driving somewhere. And I was like, hey, I'm doing this. These exercises that are in this episode, like, are super helpful right now. And so these are some reminders that I needed, and maybe you do too, because this time, especially June, it has a way of making us feel like we are constantly trying to keep up. We are wrapping up the school year, and maybe you have children going through milestones and graduations and proms, and you're simultaneously trying to prepare for summer, and you're managing schedules and events and activities and upcoming holidays and camps and vacations and all of that mental load and invisible stuff that comes with it. And so for this episode replay, I walk us through a very simple but impactful exercise to help us set our intentions for this season and help us remember how we want to feel as we move into the summer. And we come back to the 5 pillars of well-being, which are to nurture, nourish, move, grow, and discard. And we talk about lowering the pressure, creating more ease, getting intentional about what actually matters most, and then finding those ways to support yourself through busy seasons instead of just trying to simply survive them. So as we head into this latter part of the month and at the final stretch in the finish line of June, and we head into summer, I think that this really is a message worth revisiting. So whether you're an OG juggler and you've heard it before, or if this is your first time listening, welcome. I hope this offers a helpful reminder that you don't have to do it all, and that a little intention, remembering how you want to feel, can go a long way. I also do want to mention that there are some downloads mentioned in this episode. The 30 Days for Me download is still available for free. I also have a Swedish death cleaning, Start Your Summer Purge Off, a free download there, which is a great 10-minute mental load checklist for getting that purge out of the way so you could enjoy your summer. And there also is a simple summer guide, which is a visual representation for your kids, so you can tackle that I'm bored as soon as summer starts, maybe help keep them away from the screens and help plan your days with a little more ease. It's great, especially for the younger kids, but also as your kids get older too, helps give them those reminders and provides them with the options so you can plan your days with a little bit more ease. So you can find those downloads in the notes for this podcast episode. And without further ado, please enjoy this replay, and I will see you here next week. Let's dive right in.
This is the Juggle is Real podcast. I hope you feel seen, that you realize your worth, lighten your load, and prioritize your own needs. As we hear from leading experts and well-known faces in the wellness, entrepreneurship, education, and motherhood space, I hope you gain insights, proven practices, and learn actionable tools to to help you enjoy the juggle of work, family, and everything in between with a little less stress and a lot more ease, joy, and fun. Most of all, I hope you find what you need to simplify, streamline, and supercharge your own journey of better balance and self-love. Are you with me? Let's get started. June is a very full, a very busy month. It's like the December of summer, except there's not like a Christmas holiday slapped in there. So there's not that time there where we can really come together and pause. But what I will say is that with the right intentions and a plan with some priorities put in place, we can make a busy month like June really flow with more ease and more joy. So if you want to sort of kickstart your summer with a holistic approach to prioritizing yourself, your well-being, as well as putting some plans in place so that you can feel on top of things, you can feel prepared, let's go through a couple of short exercises. I thought that we could do this together because this is something that I want to do for myself to carry me into the end of the school year, but also to just elevate my summer in general. So as I go through these exercises and I go through these prompts, I want you to think of your next 30 days, wherever you are and whatever month you're in, whatever week, whatever day. I want you to think of the next 30 days and how you can make some commitments. But I also want you to think of how this is going to really support you and create a foundation for you to put some habits into place so that the rest of your summer really can be in that snowball effect. And I don't know what a summer analogy of a snowball effect would be, but whatever it is, you get my point, right? So setting our intentions now, making our commitments now, having some plans in place now so that the rest of the school year into the summer can flow. So what I would like to do to begin, and I will say that wherever you're listening to this episode is perfect and it's beautiful and it's amazing. Ideally, if you could have a pen and paper or some type of writing instrument and something to write on, that's going to be wonderful for you to jot down some notes and setting your intentions. If you have the Juggle is Real Authentic Self-Care Planner, that's the absolute perfect thing that you can be using because we're going to be going through some of these monthly prompts together. And I also have a free download available that you can get just by heading to the notes for this podcast episode. And it's going to take you through these 5 pillars that we'll be working through. And you can set your commitments that way, either on your phone, on your computer, or printing it out and jotting it down. All of these options are perfect, whatever you're choosing to do. Even if you're out for a walk and you can mentally set your intentions and make these commitments, perfect. Maybe when you get home, if you're driving or doing something else where you can't be writing, you can jot down some notes or come back to it when you have a few spare moments. So before we begin, I'd really love for us to just take a few minutes to pause, do some breathing, and think about how we want to feel. And I think it's important that we start here because from this place in actually going through our mind and actually conjuring up these feelings of, well, how do I want to be a big ball of stress? Do I want to be, pulling my hair out and yelling and being just a total disaster? Or is there an alternative? And so in your mind, I want you to picture how your days can flow with more ease, less stress, and finding joy in each day and in all of the moments that are going to combine to make this month of June. So if you can take a deep breath in, hold it if you can, and now exhale and let it all out. And we're going to do this again. So inhale in, really fill your belly with air, fill up that rib cage, hold it at the top. And when you're ready, let it all out. Do it with your mouth open, tongue out if you wish. And we'll do this one more time with a big, big inhale. And when you're ready, exhale. And in your mind's eye, I want you to capture this feeling of how you want to feel for June, for your summer. And I want you to think of this feeling as we move forward, as you set your commitments for the month. My intention is to really lean into and enjoy all of these beautiful moments and joys of the month of June, of the start of summer, with ease and a sense of preparedness. So letting it flow, feeling prepared, but also feeling calm and at ease. And so if you have an intention that you wish to set for June and for your summer, I invite you to jot that down and write it out now. And you can write out the sentence, my intention is, or you can write out the sentence as if you already are that. So starting it with I am, and then filling in the blank. So I am at ease for the month of June and the start of summer, feeling prepared and feeling all of the joys and the moments in the ebbs and flows of June and the summer. I am allows you to invite that in right now. So whatever your intention is incredible, because your intention is really going to set forth the path that you're going to now step into and that you're going to create for your days, for your month of June. And as we quickly go through these 5 pillars of well-being, my intention for this episode for you is to create these small goals, make these small commitments so that you can tap into your well-being and prioritizing yourself in small ways to create these habits that will bring you through the month, feeling that intention, feeling the way that you wish to feel, even through the busy moments, even through what might normally feel like a hectic time, even through all of the back and forth and the juggling that you're doing in June. As you plan for the summer activities, as you look to the holidays, as you try to get your kids to all of their places and their spaces, and as you try to do this while also juggling work life, a career, family, friendships, and everything in between. So to begin, I'd like to go through these 5 pillars of well-being, because as you prepare for this month, the most important thing that you can do is put yourself at the top of the list. No one's going to be any better off if their mom, if their friend, if their spouse, if their leader, their coworker, etc., is not doing well. If they're stressed, if they're in a state of chaos, if they are in a negative downspin, if they're feeling burnt out and overwhelmed. So we'll start with our own selves, our own personal well-being, and then we will go into a few tips and strategies that you can use to make this busy month a little bit easier. So I have 5 pillars that I use. It's in the Juggle is Real Authentic Self-Care Planner. You can get this journal on Amazon. It is such a lifesaver. Honestly, it has been such a lifeline for me to make these small commitments to myself, to be able to put myself first in small ways. And thanks to this journal that is available for on Amazon, there's a few select retailers that offer it as well. I've been able to hear from many of you who have tried it out, who have either used the free download or purchased the journal on Amazon or from a local retailer. And you're just like, this is a game changer. This has been so helpful. And where I thought it was impossible to put myself first, I now have these habits in place that flow, that just come automatically, that make me a better person so that I'm showing up in these important spaces in my life like the person who I truly feel I am, and not a lessened version or a version that is, trying to fight and make my way through the fatigue, the frustration, the overwhelm. So as we go through these 5 pillars, please know that you're only doing everyone around you a disservice when you're not number one on your list, when you're not a priority in your own life, when you're not making these small commitments and adjusting your schedule to fit in these small moments of care so that you can allow things to flow. So I'm going to start with pillar number 5, and that's discard. And we start with discard. I think for the month of June, especially, this is going to be really important because we can release and remove things now and even just for the next 30 days. Okay. I'm not saying it's for a lifetime. I'm not saying it's forever, but I want you to think of one small thing or a few things that you can say no to, that you can release, that you can remove, that you can discard or leave just for the next 30 days. Okay. So are there unproductive tasks that you are perhaps engaged in? Are there things that you are allowing in your life that are leaving you feeling really drained, that are not serving you, that are not helping you and your family and your workspace, that perhaps you can let go of for the month? Are there maybe meetings that you can decline? Are there invitations that you can say no to for now or take a rain check to see you through the next month so that you can make more room for the things that truly matter? So discard might be the most important pillar for this month, for this next 30 days. So it can be, as simple as, removing some items from your calendar. It can be something like setting a boundary. So maybe, if people are calling you or asking favors or taking time that is not allowing you to focus on the things that you really truly need to do, and you kindly, with love, release it for the month. Okay, so I told you we're going to be doing this together. And so I want to look at something to discard. So if you're pen and paper, if you have your Juggle is a Real Authentic Self-Care Planner, I want you to write down in the discard bubble or on your sheet something that you're going to remove or let go of this month. Okay, so fill that in now. I want to see what you can release to make room for other things that we will get to in just a few minutes. The next pillar is to grow. And oh gosh, June is such a month of growth. I mean, we're at this culmination, we're at the end of a school year. And I keep saying this because June in Canada, this is the end of our school year. If you are listening and you're in another country, or maybe you're south of the border, maybe you're in the States, your kids are already off. So this might look a little bit different for you, but I trust that these 5 pillars are going to steer you in the right direction wherever you are and whenever you are listening to this, whatever's going on in your life. This next pillar is grow. And so this is where we can think of, for me, I mean, your kids are at the end of a year, they've grown. You're going to look at that your first day of school picture, your last day of school picture is going to blow your mind. You're going to think, how the heck is this beautiful person ahead in front of me the same person that was just posing for their first day of school photo 9 months ago? The changes in your kids are so great. And so when you think of yourself, when we look to even Mother Nature, I mean, I'm in Northern Ontario. When I look outside my window right now, even just a few weeks ago, where there were barely even buds on the trees outside my backyard, now we have these beautiful, flourishing, in full bloom trees and plants and flowers. And it's truly remarkable. And so think of the beauty and the abundance and the growth that can happen and put that towards yourself. So are there new ways of thinking or being or something that you can do to allow yourself to grow in new ways and to help you really expand into this month with more ease and more joy and truly more fun? So can you think of something that you can do in a small and simple, and it really doesn't have to take very much time, something that you can do to really focus on that growth mindset of of how you can incorporate positive behaviors to take you through these next 30 days. Maybe there's a mantra that you're going to repeat to yourself. Maybe there's some mirror work that you can do, is made popular by the incredible Louise Hay, of maybe you're going to commit to every morning when you wake up and you go to use the washroom, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror in your own eyes, and you're going to say, I love you. You're beautiful. You're incredible. You can do this. Something that is going to affirm and help you grow. Maybe you have that affirmation that you want to repeat. Maybe you're going to write it out. Maybe you're going to journal. Maybe you're going to take down some notes and repeat these mantras and this intention that you've sent for the month. Maybe you're going to download an audiobook or some personal development. Maybe you're going to take a course that's going to fit into your schedule. Maybe when you're out for a walk or driving your car, instead of listening to the radio or a playlist, you're going to listen to something that's really going to make you see things from another perspective. That's what this podcast is here for, is to help you grow and to help you lead a more intentional and mindful life. So just even listening in to the Juggle is Real and other incredible podcasts and audiobooks can be a great way to support your growth for this month and moving forward. So if you're jotting something down, what's something you can commit to now for the next 30 days that will see your growth throughout the month? Moving to our next pillar of well-being, we're going to go and do these two together. I like to put them together because they're the pillars of move and nourish. Movement and nourishment. Gosh, I know we are into these months where summer is here, and we're thinking, and we've been ingrained through society and through all of the things we've been taught, especially as women, that we have to look a certain way. We have to do certain things in order to show up from what society is telling us. And these pillars, they are not about that, my friend. These pillars, to nourish and to move, we're going to focus on what is really going to fuel us and support us and make us feel our best into these next 30 days. So what can you do right now to commit to yourself? One small change that you're going to make in terms of how you are feeding yourself and how you're moving your body, so that you can truly tap into that energy that you are going to need to navigate this next few months. So when I look to move, when I look to really breathing life into your body, what's something that you can do for the next 30 days that's really going to allow you to feel that gratitude for having the body that you have, allowing yourself to feel into what your capabilities are now, the movement that you can experience today and now, not when this or when that, but now. What can you commit to for the next 30 days that's going to help you in moving your body more? So it can be to take a walk in the morning. We have these beautiful long days, or after dinner, going out with the family. It can be to incorporate some stretching. For me, I'm going to be committing to a little bit more weight training. And this, for me, this is going to be an important shift, because I know that when I am fueling my muscles and when I'm working my muscles, that gives me more energy throughout the day. That helps me to be stronger, to be able to chase my toddler around the baseball field and the soccer field. And now that I'm entering this new decade and this chapter of my 40s, I know how important it is to maintain my muscle mass. So for me, I love walking, I love yoga, but I'm going to incorporate at least 2 days of weight training to support the movement of my body. So what is something that you can do? What is something that you can incorporate, that you can feel good about now, that you're going to enjoy, that you're going to be grateful for throughout these next 30 days? And what goes hand in hand with that is to nourish. And it's really just making that conscious effort to fuel your body in ways that's going to give you that energy, that's going to make you feel good, that's going to make your stomach happy and your body happy, and give you that energy and that spark that you're going to need to carry into your days. I know I say it often. It's like, are you going to wake up and maybe have that glass of water? Maybe you're going to have a squeeze of lemon in it. Maybe it's going to be to incorporate a multivitamin, or maybe it's going to add more protein into your diet. Maybe you can do that by incorporating a really nourishing breakfast, something that's going to have that added protein, that complex carbohydrate, maybe some additional grains or some seeds, something that's going to be nourishing. Or maybe it's going to be committing to actually eating breakfast or actually having a lunch and mindfully chewing and seeing your food, and not just, throwing something down the hatch while you drive somewhere or while you're sitting at your desk. So what can you do for the next 30 days throughout June that's going to help you to feel more nourishment? And you can write that down, and you can make that small commitment to yourself. Again, this is not no gain, no pain, no pain, no gain. This is not diet culture. This is not trying to fit into your bikini. This is feeling more well. This is prioritizing your well-being and your health so that you can be your best. Final pillar in our 5 pillars is to nurture. This one's really where we find our authentic modes of self-care. This is where we want to look to something that we can tap into for fun, that's just for us, that has nothing to do with the school schedule or the activity schedule or getting, your kids to places. This is for you, my friend. And this is so important, because without that sense of nurture, we are truly not serving ourselves. And so for the next 30 days, I want you to commit to something for yourself, something that's going to bring more peace, more calm, more enjoyment, more fun, more laughter into your life. And so it's purely for the sake of your own joy, not something that you're doing for others, not a should, not something that, you see your neighbor doing or your friend, but what is something that you truly love that you can do for maybe 10 minutes a day? For me, I love reading, and I haven't been making it a priority lately. I love reading fiction, especially in the summer. I mean, when I say I love reading, I read every day, but more so from a study perspective, more so from a growth perspective. But I also want to tap into that reading for the sense of joy, for joy itself, for fun. It's going to be fluff, it's going to be beachy reads, but I'm committing to reading for at least 10 minutes a day. So whether that's right before bed, instead of, turning on some streaming or platform or watching TV, I'm going to read for 10 minutes. And so what is something that you can do to nurture yourself, to show yourself that you matter, that you're worthy, that you love yourself? And those are the 5 pillars of well-being that you can find in the Juggle is Real Authentic Self-Care Planner. Again, there is a free download in the notes for this podcast episode where you can find it as well. It's called 30 Days for Me. And if you're walking, if you're driving, I hope that you've made that mental note to commit to yourself in small ways. A couple other things that I just wanted to mention as we head through this month to help us feel more organized and more prepared, maybe things that can slip and fall off the wayside that you might want to bring back, or you might want to introduce for the month of June or heading into the summer to really elevate things as you're going through these busy weeks. For me, it's a visual reminder of what needs to happen. And I find this really helpful. I know we all have our phones, we all have our electronic calendars, and I'm sure it's jam-packed right now for you. If you have it set to a family mode so that your partner, your spouse, or maybe family members also have that on their schedule, it's really, really helpful. But in these especially full months when there's a lot more on the go, I like to also have it as a visual representation in the physical that everyone in the family can see. So it might be a paper calendar. Maybe you're going to grab a piece of paper and write out the month or the days or the weeks. I have a dry erase board with a calendar on it. And so I don't use it all the time, but in the especially busy months, I find it really, really helpful to be able to look at that visual representation, not have to go into my phone and then be taken in all these different places to check an email or to scroll on social media and forget why the heck I even went into my phone. I'm going to look into the kitchen. It's next to the counter and see, okay, what's on tap, what's going on today, what's heading into the future, and who needs to be where. Taking that, and it might take 10, 15 minutes, but allowing my kids to see that, seeing it, having my husband add things if he has things, and really opening up that planner, that calendar to all of the things in a visual and physical way is really, really helpful. So you might want to check that out and do that. I also wanted to share this. I recently saw this on social media and I thought it was so, so brilliant because if you have kids in a lot of extracurriculars, or if you have kids who are still wearing a uniform to school, instead of doing the laundry, putting it in the wash, putting it in the dryer, folding it, putting it away in drawers, and then when you need it, on a moment's whim, when you're already late, you're running out the door and saying, where's my baseball pants? Where's my soccer jersey? Where's my kilt? Where's whatever it is? This mom on social media, she has what she uses are clear shoe boxes. Now you can use baskets. I got some from the dollar store. And instead of putting things away in drawers, she literally just has these clear shoebox bins where she puts all of these uniform items. So, you know what? We're not even letting the baseball pants and the jerseys go into a drawer to get tangled up with the rest of the normal stuff. And then we're not going to know where it is because it's, no one hung it up and it's tucked at the back of your closet. It's going to go in the jersey basket. And so as soon as it's clean, it goes directly in the jersey basket. And this woman actually has these clear bins in her laundry room. It's not even making it to the bedroom, my friend. Let's make it one step easier and just it's above her dryer. If you have any extra space, or you might want to put it on top of a dresser or something in your room. I thought it was brilliant. It takes the guesswork out of it. It allows your kids to have maybe that sense of independence where they know there's one place where it belongs. This is where you're going to find it. Now go get it. So I thought that was really great. And I wanted to mention that. The last thing that I really want to emphasize for this episode, when we want to set our intentions and really elevate our summer, is the notion of communication. Okay. So if you're like me, if your household kind of operates like mine, where there's a lot on the go and people are going in different places and directions, sometimes, and I'm going to laugh, but in the moment, it's not funny. A lack of communication can really lead to reacting in a negative way versus responding when things are coming up and being thrown at you from all different directions. And a lack of communication can really cause that sense of chaos and that sense of overwhelm. So if we can really double down, and my husband and I recently had a conversation about this because there's a few things where we got our lines crossed, where we made assumptions and we made plans without, coming back and consulting and checking in, that led to, disagreements that did not have to be disagreements, that led to, confusion that really didn't have to be there. So if you can set your intention now to really and actively communicate more efficiently, more effectively, maybe it's like, okay, hon, we're going to have a 5-minute call at this time of day where we're going to go over the things. Or Sunday nights, let's take our plan into the next week. Who needs to be where and what can we do? Or just having that really clear commitment that the lines of communication have to be open and be used at all times. I'll say that from experience, it's so much easier and you feel so much more peace when there is a plan, when you feel prepared, when you know what has to be done, when you can look ahead with more clarity and know that if there are places where everyone has to be, you're making those calls in advance, or you're making the preparations, or you're packing the things that need to be packed early and advanced, and you're not doing things at a last minute, or you're not having these frantic phone calls of who needs to go where and who needs to do what. I hope that this has been helpful. And if you have extra tips, like I would love to know how you're making your life easier, how you are feeling more ease as we head into our summer months. And I would really love to know what intention you're setting for June and as we head into the summer months. You can always, always, always reach me by DM on Instagram. My handle is Andriana G, ANDRYANNAG. You can also find an email address in the notes for this podcast episode. So shoot me an email or send me a DM. Let me know how you're moving into the summer months to really elevate it and set those intentions now so that you are using these simple but effective strategies to nurture, to nourish, to move, grow, and discard, to feel more prepared, and to really tap into intentional modes of self-care that will turn what can feel like a very hectic time, a very hectic month and season, into a time of rejuvenation and joy and so much more ease for yourself and for your whole family. Thank you so much for listening to The Juggle is Real. If you like this episode, I would really appreciate if you could take just a quick moment to rate it and to write me a review in Apple Podcasts so that other people who are juggling lots can find this and get this information. If you know someone who's in the same boat as you, please go ahead and share this with them so that they can set their intentions and make those commitments to enjoying June and their summer with more ease, and just do all the things. Maybe share to social media or subscribe or download so you can come back to this and remember your intention as you carry forth into this month. I wish you all the best. I wish you so much joy and peace and ease and all of the most beautiful things as you enjoy these next 30 days. Sending you so much love wherever you are and whenever you're listening. And I can't wait to see you for another episode of The Juggle is Real. Until then, take good care.